Welcome agents. Having played the private beta for the Division 2, there are a lot of things which have been confirmed to be coming at launch. I put out a community question asking you agents to name one thing you want to see at launch that isn't already coming. Today I want to go over your answers and talk about them, providing my own thoughts on those and adding my own suggestions. If you enjoy this one, please hit the like button below and subscribe for dedicated Division content. With that said, let's do this. Okay, so thanks to everyone for leaving a comment to my community tab. There was quite a lot, so I've picked out 10 to go over and talk about. Who knows, some of these may actually come to the Division 2 at launch or quite possibly later on in its life cycle. So the first one is from GTR Blackhawk, who commented saying, flashlights, ability to crouch and lay down other than forced cover, with the caveat that we could use bipods. Now, I absolutely 100% agree that we need flashlights in the Division 2, whether it be an attachment you can put on your weapon or some that your character holds and can sort of be turned on or off. The Division 2 is very dark at night time, and I know how stupid that sounds. You know, it's night time, it should be dark, but I think I'm in the majority when I say nighttime in the Division 2 is just too dark at this point, and sometimes you simply just can't see anything at all. And having the choice of turning on or off a flashlight would please everyone, I think, and for me at least, it would add to the immersion. I mean, you're an agent of the Division with high-tech gadgets that heal you and blow things up with advanced weaponry and survivability, but you don't have a flashlight for when it gets dark. So, you know, it kind of breaks the immersion not having one, and I think adding one would really add to that immersion. The ability to crouch and lay down would also be very, very good, especially when you consider that NPCs can see you from a long distance. Having the ability to crouch into cover would be really, really cool. And the whole bipod system again would be great when you consider that the Division 2 is all about cover. Having bipods would really, really be a good addition to the game. Not something that I can see them adding. They might add it at a later stage, certainly not something that's going to be there at launch, but something that I could see actually being a really good addition to the game. So with that in mind, just make it happen, massive. Next up, and Jaffe Taffy commented with one word: survival. Now, I knew this would come up a lot, and for good reason. Survival was the best game mode from the Division, and quite possibly my favourite game mode in any game ever. The devs have not ruled this out for the Division 2, but they've not confirmed it yet either. Before the world of the Division 2 was actually revealed, I talked about what Survival 2.0 could look like. I made a whole video about Survival 2.0 coming to the Washington D.C. area as well, once it did get revealed. And I think Washington D.C. would actually just be a perfect place to do it. Instead of the sepsis and the cold killing you like the Division, in the Division 2 it could possibly be the DC-62 substance and scorching hot weather that create the survival environment. We've already seen a glimpse of the hot sun haze from private beta, and this could easily be used like the snow from the Division, or replace the snow from the Division, to limit your eyesight and create that survival feeling. As expected, the open world of the Division 2 is absolutely perfect for this game mode, and it has all the right ingredients, so I think it's just a matter of time before Survival 2.0 comes out. The devs have actually confirmed before this is something they would love to see come back in the Division 2, so why not? Moving on, and Maya's Elite commented saying, defo the headshot sound. Now, there was actually quite a lot of comments talking about the headshot sound, and I think I've somehow overlooked this in the game. I would assume all these comments about headshot sound mean there is no headshot sound in the Division 2. If that's true, I never actually noticed that. With that said, I cannot recall the headshot sounds, certainly not like they were in the Division. To me, it's clearly not that important because, you know, I didn't even notice, but I bet you now that I go into the game and actually play it again, I will notice this and realise, and I will likely probably want the headshot sound back as well now because of you guys, so thank you very much. It was actually very satisfying to, you know, down an NPC or an agent with a headshot. So if that has been removed, as you lot suggest it has been, and I've not obviously picked up on, then absolutely, I definitely think this should be put back into the game. I've not heard anyone talking about this, so this has really flown under the radar to me, and this needs to be something that comes back in the Division 2. Next up, and Dallas William commented with 2 points. The first one saying a new mode of transportation, a bike or an APC with 4 seats, LZ only. Now this was something I thought the devs would be adding to the Division 2, and I talked about this a little while ago in a previous video. This, I think, would actually be a great addition to the game. The Washington D.C. map is roughly 20% bigger than Manhattan on a 1-to-1 scale, and people wanted some form of transport in Manhattan in the Division 1 because it can take very long to get to places sometimes, and not everyone wants to experience every inch of the map. I personally don't think an APC would be a good addition, but a bike would be a good idea, I think. I think it would actually work really, really well. And I personally would love to ride around, checking every part of the map, and fear without something like this, a lot of people simply won't see the entirety of the open world, myself included, simply because it would just take too long to roam around, ultimately. Dallas Williams also commented about new enemies. Now, as of right now, we have 4 factions. I would love to see maybe double this, the more the merrier, really, plus some new variations of the enemies as well, the enemy archetypes, because what we've seen so far, most of the archetypes we've actually experienced in the Division, so I'd like to see more during the life cycle of the game, and I'm pretty sure the devs will deliver on this at some point. Moving on, and Zero Media commented saying companion app. Now, the devs have already confirmed that there will not be a companion app, as they want to focus on the game. There are currently a couple of people who are attempting to create a companion app. One recently contacted me asking if I'd like to test it out, just sort of like a beta version, give my opinion. So there's definitely some stuff happening in the wider community with that. A companion app for the Division 2 is surely a must, in my opinion, when you consider that the build variations will surpass anything we saw in the Division tenfold, basically. And theory crafting is a massive part of the game, so being able to sort of theory craft and put together builds and loadouts on the fly would be an excellent addition for the game, and something that I actually think the Division 2 really, really needs. This won't be coming at launch, because the devs have confirmed that way, but this is something we could see later on, either by the devs or by someone else. Next up, and Tom Labalate, I can't say that, commented saying the ability to open multiple caches at once or craft multiple items at once. A community gear auction house could be cool. 100% agree on the multiple caches at once. Why it takes 5 seconds to open one cache at a time is beyond me. And did you notice in the beta that once you open the cache, before actually revealing the items, it asks you again if you're sure? I mean, like, who's accidentally holding down the button to open a cache for 5 seconds? The caches should open instantly, and you should be able to open multiple caches at the same time. The same goes for crafting items as well. They should craft instantaneously. And maybe the first time it asks you if you're sure, and you can sort of turn this off for the first time only, but after that, just open the cache. You shouldn't have to wait 5 seconds for a cache to be opened. The idea of a community gear auction house, whilst it sounds really cool, it does open up a market for kind of like a black market where people could possibly look to sell the stuff in real life. We've seen something similar in Fallout 76 where people have found gear and they've gone onto websites and sold them. So I don't think that would be a good idea. I like the idea that you can share stuff at this moment in time, and I just think having this auction house could open up sort of this black market within the game, and that's not something that anyone wants to see. So yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea. Moving on, and some guy named Jeff commented saying stealth kills. Again, 100% agree that this feature should be in the Division 2. It has the perfect environment for it, and it would create some very interesting stealth missions which could and would add a whole new level to the combat. I'd go as far as implementing this into the Dark Zone if possible. You imagine sneaking up on an unsuspecting player in the occupied Dark Zone and taking them down from behind. I think this would be absolutely amazing in Division 2, especially when you consider how dark the game gets during night. Sneaking, stealth kills and silent cover-to-cover movement would be an awesome addition to the Division world. Next up, and Sajid TF commented saying bullet penetration through breakable thin objects like woods for PvE. This was something we saw in the E3 trailer for the Division, and it still hasn't found its way into the Division 2. This is something I absolutely expected to be coming, but it doesn't appear to be the case, and not something the devs are likely to implement at any point, which it's actually a real shame. I really like that idea. Even the idea of destructible environments would be also a great addition to the Division 2. It just adds to the realism. Some of the game, the Division is generally known for is its realism, aside from you know, his wizardry with all the healing and stuff, but generally it's a very realistic game with the way the game feels, and it plays out in a universe which is very realistic to its time. So having bullet penetration and all that sort of stuff and destructible environments would be great. And again, this is something that was displayed at E3 trailer for the Division. So that was about 6 years ago, maybe not 6, about 5 years ago or so. So why it isn't in the Division 2, at least from what I've seen, I don't know, and something that they really need to consider. Last but not least, and Amin Hassan commented saying, Battle Royale. Now this was something the community speculated about before we even knew a sequel was coming, and something that absolutely divides the community. The Division already has their own unique Battle Royale, and it's called Survival Mode. A typical Battle Royale, the likes we see from Apex Legends and Fortnite, just wouldn't work, and this is not something I would like to see at all. Release Survival 2.0, revamped, reimagined, and better than ever, and you've got yourself a Battle Royale that no other game can compete with. The Division's very own unique Battle Royale mode. There you go, agents. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button below. It really does help me out. Subscribe if you are new to my channel. And remember just to turn on notifications. That way you won't miss any of my videos. With that said, thanks for all your support. And until the next one, Epic out.